Rob McCool here, portrayed by Ron McCoy. Rob McCool is fictional, as are all of the people with whom Rob comes in contact. One of those, Stormtrooper, his former principal, has resigned. Are better days ahead for Freedom Maples? That remains to be seen. And when the news came that Stormtrooper's replacement would be Judy Hickenlooper, Rob was less than thrilled. The staff at Freedom Maples was overjoyed. Rob McCool, not at all. While having lunch with some former teacher co-workers, Rob McCool described the prospect of having Judy Hickenlooper as his principal in the following way. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. Words of wisdom, those were not, as things played out for Rob McCool. Which is also a great way to describe Rob's previous principal, Deidre Slasher, as he went up against her regarding departmentalization. You may recall that Rob had talked to Deidre Slasher in June of 2012, expressing his desire not to departmentalize, to keep his own class all day long, and she had vowed to talk to the person with whom Rob would be switching classes, Susie Dumbunny, to see if she would be okay with not switching classes. About 1 month later, Rob McCool had lunch with future teammate Susie Dumbunny, and she was distressed to learn that Rob did not want to do departmentalization because Deidre Slasher had assured Susie Dumbunny that she would not be teaching science, that she would be doing departmentalization. In other words, Deidre Slasher had slashed Rob McCool's trust. She had betrayed Rob McCool. At home, Rob is more than a little hot under the collar, so he calls Deidre Slasher and schedules an appointment with her for 8 a.m. the next morning. A decision most likely predicated on his previous battles against departmentalization, the first of which took place in late July 2008. And you may recall that in that era of Freedom Maples, the principal was Jack Pomfrond, and of course the assistant principal was Judy Hickenlooper, and Jack Pomfrond had informed Rob McCool that he would have to departmentalize. During the summer of 2008, the school district implemented a brand new social studies curriculum, and administrators were told that teachers had the option of departmentalizing for social studies and for science. In other words, one teacher would teach the social studies, one teacher would teach the science, which would cut some of the planning that teachers need to do each day. And during the summer staff retreat, Rob is aghast by an announcement made by then principal Jack Pomfrond. Yes, the district expectation is that on each team there are 2 pairs of teachers, and in each pair, one person needs to teach the social studies and one person needs to teach the science. Shock is too mild a word to describe Rob McCool's reaction to Jack Pomfrond's decree. And in true Rob McCool fashion, he vows to go and talk to his principal about the situation. Time, late May 2023. Place, South Terre, a rehabilitation center where Rob McCool's mom has been transported yet again, this time to recover from a fall that resulted in a T6 vertebra fracture in her spine. And oh, how Rob's mom loves staying at South Terre. When do I get to go home? The therapist is mean. I hate her. I hate the people out here. I hate my room. When do I get to go home? That therapist, she is mean. When do I get to go home? Why don't you come out to visit more often? That therapist, I hate her. She's horrible. When do I get to go home? I think you get the picture. And meanwhile, back at Freedom Maples in 2008, yes, Rob has resolved to confront his principal, Jack Pomfron, about this new edict about departmentalization. And Rob tracks his principal, Jack Pomfron, to the outer school office where, ironically, Jack is unboxing the new social studies books. Earlier, on that same day of the retreat, in the conference room, Rob and his team of 4 fellow 5th grade teachers, making a 5-member team, had come to an agreement that Rob would teach all subjects. He would be the pivot person. 2 of the teammates would teach, one would teach science, one would teach social studies. The other 2 teammates, one would teach science, one would teach social studies. Problem solved, or so it seemed. And Rob explained his team's plan to Joe Pomfron, who responded as follows. Rob, the district's expectation is that every elementary teacher, grades 3 through 5, departmentalize. You will teach either science or social studies. Is that clear? And at home, later that afternoon, Rob McCool vows to do something about this situation because he knows that Jack Pomfron has misinterpreted what the district's expectation is. And so, Rob McCool decides to call Judy Hickenlooper, his assistant principal, to find out what she has to say on the matter. Meanwhile, in June of 2023, at the ever-popular South Terre Rehabilitation Center, Rob McCool's mom is making improvements, this in spite of herself, and plans are being made for her to return home yet again. And back in July 2008, Rob McCool is in the process of calling his assistant principal, Judy Hickenlooper, about the situation involving departmentalization. So, Judy, hi, this is Rob McCool. I'm calling about the situation involving departmentalization. Is it your understanding that the district is requiring every teacher, grades 3 through 5, to departmentalize? Rob, truthfully, I think you're going to need to go along with what Joe Pomfron has in mind. I think you're just going to need to go ahead and departmentalize like you are expected to do. And yes, the devil, Rob McCool knows, will continue to run true to form as his adventures continue in Rob McCool's Guide to Freedom, and Rob McCool continues to turn up the heat on his battle with Deidre Slasher over departmentalization. There are surprising twists and turns coming, so be sure you tune in the next heated edition.